What no one is coming to save you means is that when you wake up in the morning, no one's going to get out of bed for you. When you wake up in the morning, no one's going to work out for you. Throughout the day, no one's going to eat healthy for you. No one's going to get that body for you. No one's going to get that promotion for you. No one's going to go back to school, even though you feel like you're too late in life now, and get that degree for you. No one's going to get that certification. No one's going to build that business or that business plan. No one's going to start that side hustle. No one's going to post content for you. No one's going to start a podcast for you or write that blog for you. No one's going to do that for you because it's going to require you to do it with your own hands. That's what no one is coming to save you means. People will give you encouragement. People will motivate you. People will want the best for you. But if you yourself don't choose to take that pen and to start writing those pages and to start writing those chapters in your life and doing and taking actions, nothing's going to change. Welcome back to Be Unafraid podcast. If you keep saying that you want change in your life, but you can't seem to move, then this episode is for you. You say that you want more for your life, but wanting more is not enough. You're stuck because comfort is easier and excuses feel safer than actually taking action. In this episode, we're going to talk about why you keep getting in your own way and what it actually takes to stop wasting your life on someday before it's too late. The first point is that you have to face reality that you're probably not as stuck as you think you are. Really, the reality is that you're just avoiding discomfort. And that takes a lot to really acknowledge that. For whatever reason, you've created a bubble and a life of comfort in your life. And as long as comfort feels safer than change, then you're just going to keep putting off change until later. You're going to live in that mindset of someday. And I talk about this now a little bit on this platform, and it's that someday mentality. Someday I'm going to do this. I want to be XYZ. I want to do XYZ. I want to accomplish XYZ, but I'll do it someday. I'll do it later. Not I'll do it today or I'll do it tomorrow. It's always going to be someday as long as you're comfortable in that environment that you're in. The scary thing here about this mentality is that you will stay in that comfort. You'll stay in that comfort. And one of the greatest things that I've learned from Rabbi Simeon Jacobson, watching one of his interviews here on YouTube, is that a lot of people will stay in their comfort zone. And even when things are not comfortable, if they're just a little bit uncomfortable or a level of uncomfort that you can bear with and tolerate, you'll still stay in that. And it's not until something becomes too uncomfortable that you actually decide to move. The problem with that is, in order for something to become that uncomfortable in your life, it's really going to take a tragedy for most part. And it's going to be something that you don't even want. It's something that you don't even want. And that is sadly what moves a lot of people. And it's true in my life. It's true in a lot of people's lives. And choosing to be uncomfortable is not a natural thing. And it's not a normal thing. And it's not a thing that most people know how to do. There's a price to pay for seeking the uncomfortable, seeking to change not only yourself, change anything in life, right? Change your career, change your health, change your relationships, change the way you eat, change anything in your life. It's because change has a price. There's a price to change. There's a cost to change. And that cost is comfort. You're giving up that which is comfortable in order to get something else. That's the price. The price you have to pay for change is comfort. Now, this poses the question, then, if I have to pay comfort as the price for me to change into XYZ, then why would I want to do that? Why don't I just stay where I am, where I'm comfortable, where things feel safe and things feel the way that they feel now? And the reason I say that is because the price that you pay for staying in comfort is quiet misery oftentimes. Everything looks good, things feel like they're flowing on the outside. People look at you, they say your life is comfortable, you are comfortable. But if you are a high performer, if you are a ambitious person, you know deep down that there's things that you want to do. There's things that you want to get to in life. There's people that you want to do things for. There's a certain vision that you have, and that's going to require you to pay that price of giving up comfort and pursuing a life of growth and change as a result. And you know that. So the longer you stay in that comfort, the more miserable you become. And most people won't even know that because you're going to hide that. You're going to hide that. You're not going to talk about it. You're not going to tell anybody. Everything's going to look good, but quietly inside, when you go lay your head on your bed at night and you go to sleep, you know that you're not truly enjoying this process that you're in. You're not truly enjoying this part of life that you're in because you know that you want to do something else. That price of having comfort and then gaining misery is a price that I actually would rather not pay. I would much rather pay the price of giving up comfort and going to the journey of growth and development and change, because there is also comfort in that. It's a different type of comfort. It's a comfort of knowing that you're on a journey. It's a comfort of knowing that you're on a path of purpose, a path of meaning. You're aspiring to get something, and that has a level of satisfaction, a level of comfort, even though there's a lot of uncomfortableness in that it gives you, and a feeling of you are making the most of this life that we are all blessed to be given. You are making the most of being a human being. You are on your way to being a net positive person and giving to this world and allowing that to flow out of you. So there's a level of satisfaction in that. And that, I would argue, is actually more enjoyable, more sustainable, or more satisfying than staying in comfort where you have a lot of short-term happiness, but a lot of quiet misery. Subscribe to the podcast if you are done saying that you want change and actually not doing anything about it. I post content every week to help you stop waiting and to start building that confidence and building that momentum in your life. So let's get back into the episode. What comes with change is going to be a world of uncertainty. Typically, when you enter a world of uncertainty, there is failure tied to that. You now put yourself in a realm where you're betting on you to do certain things. And with those things, there comes failure. If you have goals, you have to learn how to fail. A lot of content on YouTube episodes is very motivational. It's very inspiring. It fires you up. And a lot of these motivational and content creators, they talk about fear and they talk about how you have to fail if you want to be successful and how you have to become comfortable with being afraid and things of that nature. And that is great. It's all things that are useful and have helped me and will help you. What they don't often talk about is, how do you learn to fail? Because failure and failing at things is not something that you just are good at. It's something that you have to learn. It's a skill. It's a muscle that you have to develop. It's a skill that you have to learn. It's not something that comes naturally to a human being. And when you look at some of these greatest athletes in the world that are accomplishing these things and winning these championships and performing at the top level, they have failed a ton of times. And one of the best things that I have learned about the champions and championship mentality is from Alex Hormozi. And he talks about how a lot of people think that champions have something that they don't have, but that's not necessarily the truth all the time. It's that champions lack something that you have. They lack an off button. They lack the ability to turn it off. They lack the ability to not fail at something. When they fail, they just look at it as another opportunity to get better and to go try again. And if they keep failing, they keep failing, learning. That's what champions do. And that mentality, that mindset translates to your life, because in life, we are all high performers, a lot of us. You are a high performer in your life, whether you're a parent, whether you're a sibling, whether in your career, anything. We're all high performing because we're striving to be better. We're striving to accomplish things that we don't may not necessarily think that we can. So we have to have those championship mentalities, and we have to think the same way, because that mindset of understanding that learning how to fail is the first key to actually being able to change and actually being able to grow. And in order to get change, in order to learn how to fail, the first thing that I had to understand, and I learned this from some of my failures in life, and that you can take away from this and understand, is that you need to risk certain things. When you fail, what does that mean? It means that you're risking things like looking stupid, you're risking being doubted. It's going to be embarrassing, and people will say things about you. People might distance themselves from you. People might laugh at you. Whatever it is, there's something that you're paying and you're risking for the payoff ultimately of being the person that you envision on being. That is part of the first step in learning how to fail. It's embracing and understanding that all those things that are going to happen when you fail, let them happen. Let people think you're stupid. Let people think that you're not good at something. Let people doubt you. Let people laugh at you. Let them, because ultimately that does nothing to you, right? You are the one that is putting meaning behind all those things. As soon as you get that let them mentality, which is a Mel Robbins kind of principle and philosophy, by the way, so check out that the let them theory by Mel Robbins. But let them, and then your goal is to just fail forward. It's to fail forward, because ultimately those people are going to come around and they're going to start seeing you accomplishing things, changing, becoming the version of yourself that you want to become. And then all of a sudden they're going to step back and say, we can't make fun of this person anymore. Or if we do, it really doesn't mean much because it's not true. And we can't doubt you anymore. You get to that point where you start to become undeniable. So start to think about that. You want big goals. You want to change. You now have to learn how to fail. So to get a little bit technical with this, there is a method, or a series of questions really, that I have learned from listening to Bill Bessick, who is a sports psychologist for a lot of England national teams, and you can check him out. He's super awesome. He asks his athletes and his gold medalists 3 different questions when they come to him and say that I want to win a gold medal or I want to be a champion. They ask him, how can I win a gold medal? And he says, fine, I can teach you how to win a gold medal. You win a gold medal and you put it on the shelf and that's it. But those that ask him, how do I become a champion? That's a different question, because now they have to change their mindset. They have to change their way of living. They have to change the way they view everything. They have to go through this series of change. So he always asks them 3 questions. Question number 1 is, what do you want? Question number 2 is, how badly do you want it? Number 3 is, how much are you willing to suffer? What do you want is a very, very important question, and might be one of the most important questions you can ask yourself. What do you actually want in your life? We live most of our lives without even asking ourselves what we want. We live on autopilot. We live according to someone else's vision, or we model what we see and just live on what we think society wants us to be, but we never take the time to stop and ask ourselves, what do I want in life? What do I want to be? Who do I want to be? Who do I want to become? When I get to the end of my life, what do I want to have done? What do I want my story to have been? I read a lot of books, and one of the things that I've learned about great authors is great authors start with the ending in mind. They already know how their book's going to end. When you read fantasy, when you read fiction, or any type of exciting book that has a story in it and characters that are on a mission to become the heroes, right? The author knows the ending. They start with that as the baseline, and then they build the chapters to all work towards that big climactic ending and wrap it all up in a very nice and beautiful way. Bad authors, bad writers will sit down with a blank piece of paper and start to write chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. And then when they get all the chapters written, they start to now think about the ending. That story is most likely not going to make any sense. It's going to be all over the place. That's how we need to look at our lives, is start with the ending. Like a great author, your life is a story. Your life is a story, whether you believe it or not. There is a chapter that you write every single day that you wake up. Every single day you wake up, you write a page in your life. And those pages accumulate and become chapters. As the years go by, you're building chapter after chapter after chapter. And ultimately, there's going to be an ending. There's going to be a way that the story of your life will end. And what that ending is, most people don't even think about that. So take some time and really start to think about that. If you were the author of your own story, which you are, by the way, what would your ending look like? What would your ending look like for your career? What would your ending look like for your relationships, for your friendships, for your life expectations, for your life experiences? What do you want to have done in your life, and who do you want to have been? These are things that take some time to think about, but they're super important when you want to change in your life, because once you start to get a vision of who you want to be and how you want your life to be, you can now start to figure out how to change your life. And that leads into the second question that Bill Besick talks about, and that is, how badly do you want it? What do you want? Most important question. Next question, how badly do you want this thing? Like we talked about, change comes at a cost. You have to pay the price of discomfort. You have to pay the price of your ego. You have to let go of your ego, because when you're going into unknown territories, you have to put yourself in that beginner's mindset, because you're going to be not so good in those things. And oftentimes you're just going to be bad in new things. So that ego is going to take a hit. Your routines, your current routines are going to have to change depending on what you're trying to change in your life. Your current routines, some of those routines and habits are going to change. You're going to have to pay that price. So how badly do you want to pay that price and actually accomplish that ending to the story that you're writing in your life? If you don't want it that badly, then you'll just settle for the easy life, right? You'll just settle for the someday mentality. Someday I'll do it. Maybe later I'll do it. I kind of want it, but not really. Those are the things that you start to think in your mind. And it's not really until you can answer that second question, how badly do you want it? Do you want it bad enough to change things in your life that you can actually start to look at accomplishing those things that are going to be difficult? Goes into the next question, and it is, how much are you willing to suffer? Or the way I like to translate it is, what are you willing to give up? And we talked about some of these things in the second question. The key here is to understand you can't keep everything and still grow. There's trade-offs. You trade something for another thing. Everything has a price to pay. You trade comfort for progress. You trade excuses that you have, excuses that you're making now, for action. You start to become a person of action. You trade your ego, thinking that you know everything and have everything figured out and you're master of all, for humility, meaning that you understand that you still have a path to grow and that there's people that know better than you and you can learn from them. That is humility, is understanding that you're student of life, you're student, and that's a good thing. That means you're always going to be learning. What do you want? How badly do you want it? How much are you willing to suffer? Or what are you willing to give up? Those are the three questions that I encourage you to spend time thinking about. Spend time thinking about, because what you're going to see is you'll be very amazed at just the things that will start to pop up in your head and how you start to view your life differently, because now you're looking at it from the lens of a hero on a journey. A hero that's trying to get through the chapters in their life and ultimately get the ending that they seek. Very different perspective. You are holding the pen. You can write more than you think that you can in life. And one of the greatest things I've learned is from Donald Miller's book, Building a Story Brand. It's a marketing book, but it talks about how to view the world of marketing and how to view a consumer in the aspect of a story, and how every story has a hero, a villain, a victim, and a guide, and how we play a lot of these different roles in our lives. But specifically today, we're talking about the hero. If you keep waiting for permission to write your story, no one is coming to save you. I've heard that a lot. I hear it in videos, I hear it in episodes, I hear people say it. No one is coming to save you. I didn't truly understand what that means until just recently. No one is coming to save you doesn't necessarily mean that there's nobody who cares about you in this world, that there's nobody who can do anything for you or help you or be there for you in your time of need or just be your friend, right? It doesn't mean that at all. People are there for you. Your friends and family are there for you. Those that care for you, if you're fortunate enough to have those people in your life, they're going to be there for you, and they're going to be willing to do things for you as long as you're willing to accept that, right? What no one is coming to save you means is that when you wake up in the morning, no one's going to get out of bed for you. When you wake up in the morning, no one's going to work out for you. Throughout the day, no one's going to eat healthy for you. No one's going to get that body for you. No one's going to get that promotion for you. No one's going to go back to school, even though you feel like you're too late in life now, and get that degree for you. No one's going to get that certification. No one's going to build that business or that business plan. No one's going to start that side hustle. No one's going to post content for you. No one's going to start a podcast for you or write that blog for you. No one's going to do that for you because it's going to require you to do it with your own hands. That's what no one is coming to save you means. People will give you encouragement. People will motivate you. People will want the best for you. But if you yourself don't choose to take that pen and to start writing those pages and to start writing those chapters in your life and doing and taking actions, nothing's going to change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you've always done what you've always did, you'll always get what you've always got. That's a quote by Chaz Berry, and very powerful quote, because if you don't choose to pay some of these costs of changing and get the benefits that come with that, nothing's going to happen. You will feel embarrassed. You will be doubted. And that's normal. That is 100% normal. When you realize that embarrassment, doubt, being mocked, people not believing in you, people laughing at you, people looking at you like you're crazy when you say you're going to do something, the moment that you realize that that's normal when you're seeking to do something that's hard, that other people don't see themselves doing, that's the reaction that you're going to get. That's it. That's the normal. When you realize that, then you'll have no problem moving forward because you're expecting it. You're expecting it because it makes sense to them. They can't see themselves doing this thing. Therefore, they don't think you can do this thing, right? And the fact that you can do this thing might actually scare them because now they think, wait a minute, I never had that outlook that I could change and do that thing. And he's doing it. Was I also wasting time in my life? It starts to make themselves reflect on it. And people don't want to do that. People do not want to do that. So they choose to not see what is in front of them. Your mindset now has to be to do it anyways. Do it embarrassed, do it scared, do it filled with anxiety, whatever it is, you have to do it anyways because that is the normal. Hard things are supposed to be hard. That is normal. It's supposed to be hard because it is hard. Change is hard because it is hard. Not because it's this magical thing. It's just because it's hard, and that is 100% normal. Will you be a fighter or a victim today? That's another Bill Bessick principle and philosophy. In life, we choose to either be a fighter or we choose to have a victim mentality. A fighter is someone that wants something, and no matter how many times they fail, they get back up and they still fight and go after that thing. A victim, someone who has a victim mentality, believes that this world is against them, people are against them, and they just don't have what it takes. Will you choose to be a fighter or a victim? That's a question that I ask myself a lot when I'm trying to go after something. When I wake up every day, when things get hard, when I start to feel anxious, I start to get scared, I start to feel like I'm being judged, am I going to be a fighter or am I going to be a victim? Because if I choose to be a victim, then I'm just going to run back into my shell and not do anything. If I choose to be a fighter, then I put my head down and I keep moving. That's what life is about. It's about being that fighter. And the more often you choose to be a fighter, the more often you're actually going to get that growth and start to actually slowly accomplish things, because that fighter mentality is where things get done. Calling yourself out is the first step. If you're ready to stop feeling behind and actually start moving forward in your life, then check out this episode right here. Thanks for watching. And as always, have a wonderful day.